A true friend is someone who stands by you in good and bad times. A real friend will also help you when you need it. Yeah, dears, it's time for grammar here. Take page number 20 and 21. Okay, have you taken? Page number 20, grammar. Here we are going to differentiate what is a main clause or independent clause and what is a subordinate clause or dependent clause. Okay, the other name of a main clause is independent clause, and the second name of subordinate clause is dependent clause. So main clause or independent clause, subordinate clause or dependent clause. We might have learned it already. We are just going to revise it again. Okay, let's have a look on what is a main clause or what is a subordinate clause. Are you ready? Yes. First, please read the first line. There were few people on the road, though it was barely 10 o'clock at night. I'll read it once again. There were few people on the road, though it was barely 10 o'clock at night. This same line came in the beginning of the story while Jimmy Wells is introduced. Okay. There were few people on the road, though it was barely 10 o'clock at night. Here, in this line, it is this sentence, the same sentence is divided into two. The first part is underlined and the second part is circle. Can you see this? Yes. The first part, there were few people on the road. First part is there were few people on the road. It is underlined. And second part of the sentence is though it was barely 10 o'clock at night. Though it was barely 10 o'clock at night. The second part is encircled. Have you noticed that? Yes. The first part is underlined, the second part is encircled. That means these are different part of sentences of the same sentence. Now let's have a look on what is the difference between these two. Okay. The first part is a main clause or an independent clause. The part that is underlined is known as a main clause or independent clause. And the second part, though it was barely 10 o'clock at night, which is encircled, is known as a subordinate clause or dependent clause. Can you tell me what is the difference between main clause and subordinate clause by looking into this? Yeah. Please go through this sentence and please go through this the meaning of these sentences. Two sentences. The first part of the sentence, there were few people on the road. Think about the meaning. Yeah, it is a complete meaning sentence. It's a sentence with complete meaning. It has a sense. Okay, it gives the main idea that there were few people on the road. Now look at the second part. Though it was barely 10 o'clock at night. Is it complete in its meaning? Though it was barely 10 o'clock at night, what happened? Something is missing there. It's incomplete. Such type of sentences with incomplete meaning or with additional information are known as subordinate clause. A main clause or independent clause express a complete thought that makes a complete sense by itself. It has a complete meaning. That is the underlined word here or underlined sentence here. Okay, there were few people on the road. It has a complete thought, it has a complete sense and it has a complete meaning. That is why it is known as a main clause or independent clause. On the other hand, second part, though it was barely 10 o'clock at night, it is incomplete in meaning. We are avoiding the first part, there were few people on the road, and we are just only looking at we are just concentrating on the second part. Though it was barely 10 o'clock at night. It is incomplete in meaning, yeah. Its sense its idea is incomplete. We need something else to complete its meaning. Though it was barely 10 o'clock at night, what happened? The question comes here. So that means it's incomplete. Such type of sentences that does not express a complete thought or that express a additional information which is needed to understand the whole idea of a sentence is known as subordinate clause or dependent clause. So I'll repeat once again. A main clause or independent clause is a part of sentence that express a complete thought or a complete sense or a complete meaning by itself. If a part of a sentence has a complete meaning by itself, that part is known as main clause or independent clause. And the other part of a sentence, if it is a combination of two sentences, if it is a compound sentence or complex sentence, then the other part of the sentence, if it is incomplete in meaning, if it is needed something else to complete this sentence, then it is known as subordinate clause or dependent clause. Is it clear? Yes. Now let's go into the first section of the work. A. Circle the main clause and underline the subordinate clause. Here your task is to identify some sentences are given. You have to split the sentences into two and you have to identify which is main clause or which is the clause sentence with main meaning, or which is a sentence with complete meaning, or which is the subordinate clause or dependent clause which is incomplete in meaning, okay, which is subordinated or which is additional information. That you have to identify first. You have to split the sentence into two. You have to identify which is main clause and which is subordinate clause. Then main clause you have to encircle and subordinate clause you have to underline. That is a task for you. So now let's look on the first example. Question number 1. She was 10 years old when she moved to Chennai. Okay. She was 10 years old when she moved to Chennai. This is a complete sentence. It's a big sentence. Okay. So while we're splitting this sentence into two, what happens? The first sentence is she was 10 years old. The second sentence is when she moved to Chennai. So she was 10 years old is a complete meaning sentence or complete sense is there in that sentence. She was 10 years old. Yeah, that's fine. It's complete in meaning. So that part we have to encircle because it is a main clause. And look at the rest of the part. When she moved to Chennai, it is incomplete in meaning. When she moved to Chennai, then there comes a question, what happened? When she moved to Chennai, we need something else to complete its meaning. So it is incomplete in meaning. So that's why it is subordinate clause or dependent clause, because it depends on the other sentence. It depends on the first sentence to complete its meaning. Without first sentence, this sentence is incomplete. It gets its meaning only with the first sentence. When she moved to Chennai, she was 10 years old. So we need she was 10 years old to make it complete meaning. To give it complete meaning, it needs the main clause. Such type of sentence which needs assistance of other sentence is known as subordinate clause. So here subordinate clause is when she moved to Chennai. That is why here it is underlined. Like that you have to find out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences. First you have to read. You have to split the sentence into two. You have to identify which is the complete meaning sentence. That you have to mark as main clause. Which is incomplete meaning sentence, that you have to underline as subordinate clause. That is the first task. Is it clear? Now we have a box with 3 types of sentence. The first one is simple sentence. Second one is compound sentence. And third one is a complex sentence. You have already learned about simple sentence, compound sentence and complex sentence in your 5th, 6th and 7th classes. We are just going to revise it again. Okay. Can you tell me what is a simple sentence? Yes, sentences with a single clause or usually with main clause or with complete meaning sentences are known as with one finite verb each is known as simple sentence. It has a one finite verb. Finite and non-finite we have learned already. That finite verb means a verb that changes according to the subject and verb. Okay. So if a sentence is a single clause with one finite verb each, it is known as simple sentence. Examples are here given. It is already. The children are laughing. Ragi went to the cinema yesterday. Here, the children are laughing. The children subject is plural, that is why are. Are verb also plural. If it is child, what it becomes? The child is laughing. Okay. So this type of sentences with one finite verb is known as simple sentence. It doesn't need any additional information. It only gives main idea or main clause. Such type of sentences are known as simple sentence. Simple sentences are the sentence with single clause, one clause with one finite verb each. Okay, it is usually main clauses in it or independent clauses in it. The children are laughing. It has complete meaning. Raggy went to cinema yesterday. This also complete in sense. Such type of single sentences with one finite verb is known as simple sentence. The second type is compound sentence. Compound sentences are the sentences which have more than one main clause. Simple sentence means main clause, one main clause. But compound sentence means more than one main clause, but they will be joined by coordinating conjunctions. Do you know what all are the coordinating conjunctions? Yeah, like and, but, or, yet, and so on. Okay, all these are known as coordinating conjunctions. If two sentences, usually main clauses, are joined, usually in the middle, okay, joined by the coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or, yet, these sentences makes another sentence. Such type of sentences are known as compound sentence. Okay, if two main clauses are combined with coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or, yet, are known as compound sentences. Here look at the example. Meena came late. This is one main clause. Okay, but she was allowed to enter the theatre. She was allowed to enter the theatre is another main clause. Meena came late, first clause. She was allowed to enter the theatre, second clause. So these two clauses are joined in the middle with the coordinating conjunction but. Okay, which is the coordinating conjunction here? Yes, but. So here we have combined two main clauses into one sentence. Okay, two clauses joined by but and becomes one sentence. Such type of sentences which are joined by the coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or, yet are known as compound sentences. Okay, let's look at the second sentence. You have to eat on time or you will be sick. Now split the sentence into two. You have to eat on time, first clause, first main clause. You will be sick, second complete meaning sentence. That means second main clause. So while we are joining these two sentences with the coordinating conjunction or, it becomes a single sentence. You have to eat on time or you will be sick. So while we are combining two main clauses or two main independent clauses or two complete meaning clauses into one by joining with coordinating conjunctions. What are the coordinating conjunctions? And, but, or, yet, etc. Like that coordinating conjunction while we are using to join two sentences, two main clauses, two independent clauses, then we will call that single sentence into compound sentence. It will be known as compound sentence. Okay, is it clear now? Yes. Now let's move on to the complex sentence. Complex sentences is the sentence with a main clause and a subordinate clause. A main clause and a subordinate clause. And these are joined using subordinating conjunctions. Here conjunctions are not coordinating conjunctions. Here we are using subordinating conjunctions. What are the subordinating conjunctions? Yeah, after, although, as, because, before, even though, if, since, that, though, until, when, were, whether, which, while, etc. A lot of subordinating conjunctions are there. You have to find it out first. Then while we have a sentence, while we have a big sentence which is a combination of a main clause and a subordinate clause, and it is joined by subordinating conjunctions, then it is known as complex sentence. First sentence, simple sentence, is only one main clause. Compound sentence is combination of two main clause with coordinating conjunction. And complex sentence is combination of a main clause and one or two subordinate clauses with subordinating conjunctions. Now let's have a look on the examples of complex sentences. Sam had left before they reached the park. Sam had left before they reached the park. So what is the subordinating conjunction here? Yes, before is the subordinating conjunction. So we have to just remove the before from this sentence. We have to split the sentence into two. Okay. Sam had left, first sentence. They reached the park, second sentence. Okay. Or while we are splitting this sentence into two, first sentence will be Sam had left. Second sentence will be before they reached the park. So Sam had left is a main sentence or main clause or independent clause which has a complete meaning. Before they reach the park is the subordinated clause which is incomplete in meaning or which is an additional information. So such type of sentences which are the combination of one main clause and one or more. Sometimes it comes more than one. Okay, one or more subordinate clause is known as what? Complex sentence. Yeah. Second sentence. I could not go because I am unwell. I could not go because I am unwell. So while you are splitting the sentence into I am unwell, I could not go because dash. I am unwell. So here the subordinating conjunction is because. And third sentence. She opened the door when the bell rang. Here first sentence, she opened the door which is a main clause, when the bell rang which is a subordinate clause or incomplete meaning clause. So such type of sentences which are the combination of main clause and subordinate clause which are joined by subordinating conjunctions are known as complex sentence. So we have learned about three types of sentence. What are they? Simple sentence, compound sentence and complex sentence. Shall I repeat once again? A simple sentence is a sentence with a main clause. A compound sentence is a combination of more than one main clause and it is combined by coordinating conjunction. What are the coordinating conjunction? And, but or yet. It usually joined in the middle. Okay, that is known as compound sentence. And complex sentence is the combination of a main clause and a subordinate clause. It usually combines with subordinating conjunctions. It may come in the front or in the middle or in the last. Such type of sentences are known as complex sentences. Is it clear now? Okay. Now section B is a homework for you. Join this sentence with the correct conjunctions to make compound or complex sentence as directed. Some two sentences are given. You have to change it into the sentence form that is given in the bracket. Okay, I'll read the example for you. It was raining. We decided to have hot samosas. So two sentences are given here. You have to change it into single sentence. So what is the sentence that is suggested is in the bracket is complex. So you have to change these two sentences into complex sentence. They have given two sentences here. By adding some subordinating conjunction, we have to change these two sentences into one single sentence that is complex sentence. So now look at the answer. Yeah. What is the subordinating conjunction that we have used here? Since. The word since is the subordinating conjunction here. And it used here in the first or in the beginning of the sentence. So while we are changing this, it was raining, we decided to have hot samosas, into complex sentence, what will be the answer? Yes. Since it was raining, then change the full stop into comma because it becomes a single sentence. Yeah, full stop will be changed into comma here. Since it was raining, then a comma, we decided to have hot samosas. since it was raining, we decided to have hot samosa. So these two sentences now changed into complex sentence. That is a single sentence. Okay. At the question we have two sentences, and now we have changed it into a complex sentence by joining subordinating conjunction since. Like that, we have a lot of examples are there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. All these things you have to change it into complex and compound as a director. Okay, I told you how you can make a sentence into compound, how you can make a sentence into complex. For making a sentence into complex, what you have to add? Yes, you have to add appropriate subordinating conjunction. So that subordinating conjunction you have to use with your common sense. Okay, you have to use which is apt for this sentence, that you have to use with your common sense. You have to select the apt one and you have to join this sentence and you have to change it into complex sentence. And compound sentence also you have to select which is the appropriate coordinating conjunction. Use your common sense and try to select which is apt here, which is most suitable here. Select the coordinating conjunction and make the sentences into compound sentence. It's also homework for you. Clear? Now let's move on to the next part. Yes, we have already learned about main clause and subordinate clause. And the subordinate clauses are again subdivided into noun clause, etc. Here we are going to check again about one of the form of the subordinate clause, that is noun clause. Do you know what is a noun? Yeah, a noun might be functioning as a subject or object. Yeah. So here a sentence in the text is already given here. We agreed that we would meet here exactly 20 years from that date. Okay. It is the comment of Bob to the policeman about their friendship. We agreed that, we means Bob and Jimmy Wells agreed that we would meet here exactly 20 years from that date, means 20 years from their departure date. So this sentence, please check the sentence, the last part of the sentence, that we would meet here exactly 20 years from that date. Please note down that part, underline that part. We agreed that we would meet here exactly 20 years from that date. This part is a clause. This part, that we would meet here exactly 20 years from that date, this sentence is a clause. That clause is a subordinate clause. And that we would meet, because it is complete in meaning, incomplete in meaning. Okay, is it complete? That we would meet here exactly 20 years from that day, it is incomplete, it's a subordinate clause. So such type of subordinate clause which comes in the position of a noun or which replaces a noun is known as a noun clause. Here, that we would meet here exactly 20 years from that day is a noun clause which comes in the position of an object. It comes in the object position. So it is a dependent clause that acts as a noun here. Okay. So it is a noun clause. So that we would meet here exactly 20 years from that date is a dependent clause which is acting as a noun or which is functioning as a noun here in this sentence. Such type of sentences or such type of dependent clauses which have the function of a noun is known as noun clause. Noun clause usually begins with the words like that, what, when, where, how, whether, who, whom, why, etc. So it may come in the beginning as in the subject position or in the object position. Here in this sentence it comes in the object position. Such type of sentence we can easily identify with the words like that, what, when, where, how, whether, who, whom, why. What is the specialty of this sentence? These are functioning as nouns. Nouns we are usually using as subject or object usually. Okay, so here in the sentence, this sentence that start with that, what is the word that is easily identify this dependent clause here? That is the word. So this sentence that starts with that is a dependent clause, and here this sentence functioning as a noun because it comes in the object position. So such type of sentences which function as noun in the sentences are known as noun clauses. Okay. So what is the speciality of noun clause now? It do the work of a noun. what is the purpose of a noun in a sentence? It does the it is doing the same purpose of a noun in a sentence. Okay, a noun is a name of a person, place and thing, etc. Like that, instead of a noun, if a dependent clause comes, it is usually acts as a noun in the sentence. Such type of nouns sentences are known as noun clauses. They are doing the work of a noun and they can be replaced by a noun. Okay, instead of a noun, we can use these sentences also. Okay, one example is given here in page number 21. What my father said is of great importance to me. Here the task is identify the noun clause. The first question is already given as an example. The task is for you is to just identify from this sentence, just identify what is the main clause or what is the noun clause. Okay, not main clause, what is the noun clause here in this sentence. Task upon you is identify the noun clauses in these sentences. So first sentence, please look at page number 21, section C. What my father said is of great importance to me. So here what is the word, which is the word that easily identify for a dependent clause? Yeah, what is the word what is the dependent clause word, and this is easily given as an example. What my father said is his verb here, of great importance to me, in the object position. So what here, the sentence that comes as a dependent clause is what my father said, and this dependent clause here functioning as subject of the sentence. Okay, instead of a name of a person, place and thing, the sentence comes as a subject of the sentence. Such type of dependent clause functioning as a noun is known as what my father said. Here it is in the form of, here it is in the side of subject, so it function as a subject here. So what my father said is the subject here, this is the noun clause here. Is it clear for you? Now look at the second sentence. Prajwal said that his brother needed to be invited. Prajwal said that his brother needed to be invited. I think it is easy to identify what is the word that shows dependent clause and which is the part of the sentence. So try to identify, underline that part. Okay, this is also homework for you. Still, if there is any more doubt, please try to contact me through WhatsApp and clear your doubts and try to do your works as the homework. All the very best for you. Thank you.